Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. My homage to my teacher, Tolaku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, now we are learning the second part of the Karanapali Sutta. Second part of the Karanapali Sutta. In this Karanapali Sutta, Pingiyani, a person called Pingiyani, is capable, has the ability to convince Karanapali the importance and the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. He explains how valuable it is the Buddha's teachings are. So in the previous program, we explained the first simile. We explained one simile, that is the simile that explains with a person who becomes satisfied after eating delicious food and would not like food that has less taste. In the same way, once a person has learned the Buddha's teachings, he will not delight in anything else, any other way to reduce their sadness. So we should understand that we are following a religion for the sake of to become kind, to become compassionate, and to be spiritually developed, and to understand the real purpose of life, and to overcome suffering forever. That's why we need a religion. To find solutions for the problems that cannot be solved with wealth or with power or with the physical energy. There are problems that can be solved. How rich you are, how beautiful you are, how powerful you are. The mental sadness cannot be eradicated. So we should follow a religion for the purpose of keeping the mind happy, peaceful, and to develop and cultivate good virtues, good qualities in life. That's why we select a religion. Not because our mother and father are following religion, we should follow that religion. Not because our religion is mentioned or stated in our birth certificate. So let's learn how Pingiyani convinced Karanapali about the Buddha. My friend, it's something like this. If a person who's weak and hunger finds a beehive, a person who is weak with hunger finds a beehive. Wherever he tastes it, he would get a sweet and satisfying taste. Why? He is hungry, one thing, and the beehive is also very delicious. Sweet. It has a sweet taste. So just like a person who was hungry and weak finds a beehive and eats that beehive and enjoy that sweet taste and will not delight in something else. In the same way, when you hear the Supreme Buddha's teachings by suttas with stanzas and suttas without stanzas, with the deep Dhamma, with the wonderful stories, Jataka stories. So what happened when you learn that? You will gain happiness and strong confidence towards the Supreme Buddha. That happiness you experience through the joy and with the deep meanings that you understand from this Dhamma, with the deep realization of the Buddha that can be applied to our day-to-day lives and that can be applied to the problems that we face in our day-to-day life. When you apply those teachings and when you see the results, you will experience some happiness. And when you experience that happiness, you will be able to, and you will place and you will develop an unshakable confidence towards the Buddha by knowing that you apply those teachings with the help of the Supreme Buddha. So this Dhamma is always going together with gratefulness. Being grateful to the Buddha, being grateful to the Dhamma, being grateful to the Sangha. So, even towards the parents, without completing that fact, being grateful to the mother and father, a person can't fulfill the 10 right views. That is the mundane samadhi. Then Pingiyani says, now the second way he has explained. He has already explained the second method, how he gained happiness, because how he trusted in the Buddha, why he developed confidence in the Buddha. That's because he would gain happiness and a strong confidence towards the Supreme Buddha by learning the Buddha's teachings. Now for an example, now Mallika, Queen Mallika, she was very powerful, but she was ugly. Very ugly. She was rich, but ugly. Queen Mallika. Pasenadi Kosala's chief queen. Then he went to the Supreme Buddha and asked, Blessed One, I see some people, they are very ugly, but very rich. Then there are some people, ugly, but poor. There are some people, beautiful, rich, powerful. Then there are some people, beautiful but poor. Why there's a variation? There are beautiful girls but poor. There are beautiful girls rich. There are ugly girls rich. There are ugly girls very poor. Why there's a variation? Even some girls are beautiful. Why they are born in poor families? This was a question. This was a problem. Then the Buddha said, some people, they are jealous of others. They don't give dana. They don't practice generosity. There are some people, the Buddha said, there are some people, they don't practice generosity. And they don't rejoice in others' development. They become jealous of others. And then they get angry very fast. Now, how many bad things they do? 3 things. Greedy, become jealous of others. They can't be happy when others develop in life. And then the third one is they get angry very fast. Then Buddha says, the people who give dana, they will become rich in next life. The people who become jealous of others, they will not become influential in next life. they'll become very less powerful. They won't be respected by others. Then the ones who get angry very fast, even for a small reason, they become ugly. Now imagine if someone is beautiful but poor and not influential. What's the reason? In a past life, that person has lived with loving kindness. She has not got angry in past lives, but then has not practiced dana, and then not delighted and rejoiced in others' development. As a result, in this life, no money, not powerful but beautiful. Some people, imagine if someone is ugly, no money, not powerful, that means done nothing. That means that person has only lived for the sake of living, only for that person's benefit, just enjoying sensual pleasures, keeping money, not spending on good things, being greedy over the money, being greedy over belongings, not helping others, living as if never been born again. How do they live? Living as if they will never be born again. Thinking as if they are living the last life. Then they will be addicted to alcohol and drugs. They will get entangled with bad behaviors. They will get entangled with wrong views. They will associate bad people, and they will think for the sake of happiness they will spend time unnecessarily in wrong places. They will spend money on women, then they will spend money on alcohol and drugs. For the sake of gaining happiness, they need alcohol, they need to dance, and then it's all seeking happiness through things that will cause problems in future and in the present. So we should understand that when people learn the Buddha's teachings, then they will understand the value of the Buddha's teachings. It's like when a person has already tasted a sweet taste of a beehive, how would they again delight in another teaching? So after Mallika learned that sutta, Mallika Sutta, you can learn the Mallika Sutta, the full sermon. I just explained a little bit of that sutta. So after hearing the reasons, then they will know this is the reason, and then they will correct their lives. In Buddha's teachings, we talk about rebirth. Then we talk about craving. We get to learn about craving. We get to learn about contact. Then feeling arises due to contact. And if you are feeling something unpleasant, that because of we are thinking something unpleasant. So once you change the contact, the feelings also change. Imagine there's a pain on your right hand. If you can focus to your left hand, you won't feel that pain in the right hand. Because why? Your mind is directed to the left hand. Imagine you have a pain in your body. If your mind is concentrated, you won't feel that pain in your body. Why? Your contact is concentrated. Your mind is concentrated. So then the contact is something related to a concentrated mind. Then the feelings are peaceful. What we do is, if we have painful feelings, we keep on thinking those things again and again. The reasons made us painful. We recollect them. So those things are done apart from a Buddha's sasana, But as disciples of the Supreme Buddha, we shouldn't daydream. We should not develop these unwholesome thoughts. We should know whom to associate and whom not to associate. We should know the things that we should do and we shouldn't do. We should know the things that we should think and we shouldn't think. We should know what is good and bad. We should know what to associate and what shouldn't be associated. We should know what to follow and what shouldn't be followed. Those things will be properly guided by a Supreme Buddha. So if you can take few minutes from your day to read a sutta every day, there are short suttas in the Sutta Pitaka, then eventually you will experience this sweet taste. And then you'll be able to end that happiness, that you joy, that you experience while learning Dhamma, and by learning Dhamma, one day by realizing the Four Noble Truths fully. Then The third simile, my friend, it's something like this. If a person smelled a yellow and red piece of sandalwood at the bottom, middle, or top, he would still get a sweet and satisfying fragrance. If you take a sweet and a very fragrant sandalwood, a piece of sandalwood, then wherever you smell it, you get a satisfying fragrance. In the same way, when you hear the Supreme Buddha's teachings by suttas, what happens? You would become filled with joy and mental happiness. So this mental happiness, this joy arises by knowing the impermanence nature, being aware of the impermanence nature. When you know things are not under your control, when you remember, when things go in a way that, when things happen in a way that is unexpected, then you will remember that things are happening in a way that is unexpected, because Buddha has reminded us, Buddha has taught us that things are beyond control, things are not under our control. Then when you remember the true nature, you'll become happy. I knew these things early itself. Why people get panic? They did not know that things are impermanent. They don't remember that things are not under their control. Now, for an example, we see people. When we see, the nature of our mind is, the mind delights in beautiful things. The nature of our life is, we delight in beautiful and pleasant things. And we seek them. We look for them. We fight for them. We work for them to get these beautiful things and accumulate beautiful things for our life, without knowing that these beautiful things will change one day and give us so much stress when we can't bear and when we can't tolerate when these beautiful things change to worst. But then the disciples of the Supreme Buddha, after learning Dhamma, when they see beautiful things, if it is really essential for their life, they will use it, but knowing that these beautiful things are impermanent. So when beautiful things changes to worst, to bad, what happens? He will remember that these beautiful things are impermanent, and this was taught by the Blessed One. So I shouldn't get sad for something that has a nature of getting worst and ugly. So by remembering the Buddha's teachings and applying the Buddha's teachings for everything that happens in day-to-day life, we will be able to have this joy and this mental happiness. Then this mental happiness will be developed by spreading loving kindness towards others. Then this mental happiness can be developed by not breaking the precepts, by not harming others, but by helping others. Putting yourself in another's place is something done in a Buddha Sasana. Thinking, would I like if someone scold me? Would I like if someone cheat me? In the same way other people does not like. In the same way other people do not like when they are cheated, so I shouldn't cheat others. Then controlling desires in the mind. Thoughts arise in our mind, like water stream, like water comes from a water stream. In the same way, thoughts get generated in this mind. So, usual nature of our mind is fulfilling these thoughts. Even the thoughts are related to anger. Even if you feel like hitting someone, we would have patience 1 or 2 times, but in the third time we might fulfill even an angry thought by hitting someone, by fighting someone, by becoming enemies with another person who have really helped us in life. So even for a small situation, we might even give up good friends who would really help us in life. It's very easy to forget good people. It's very easy to forget good things that other people have done, but it's very difficult to forget the bad things that people have done. But it's very easy to forget the good things that people have done. So these things are taught by the Buddha. Once these things are taught and highlighted and taught the danger of this undeveloped mind, people will become mindful and will pay attention to this undeveloped mind and will develop that mind. Then will people like something else apart from this Buddha Sasana? No. That's why Pingiyani delighted in the Buddha. That mental happiness. That mental happiness that is developed by seeing good in others, by putting yourself in another's place, by practicing patience. That mental happiness cannot be stolen by others. So on this Nikini full moon Poya day, we should cultivate these wholesome thoughts, these wholesome actions, and try to put an end to this long journey of samsara. At least to have a hope, generate a hope to reach that state one day. Then Buddha preaches, then Pingiyani says, my friend, now Pingiyani is telling these things to Karanapali. My friend, it's something like this. If there is a person who is sick, suffering and gravely ill, a good doctor would cure him on the spot. In the same way, when you hear the Buddha's teachings by suttas, by stanzas, and with all these ways from the Buddha's teachings, you would make an end of sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness and distress. Ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo sattanang visuddhiya. What is this path that leads to the purification of people's mind? The satipatthana, the fourfold mindfulness. So when person learns the fourfold mindfulness, to be mindful towards the body, to be mindful for the feelings, to be mindful towards the mind, then to be mindful towards the Dhamma. So imagine a person is very mindful about his body, not the beauty, the true nature of the body. When the body gives you pain and when the body gives you aches and troubles with diseases, he will not blame the doctors. He will understand that this body is subjected to diseases. And whatever the attachments that we have towards the body will be abandoned. Then once the attachment towards the body is abandoned, even when the body gives you pain, you won't suffer mentally. Physically you will have pains, but then you won't cry and you won't get angry for the bodily pains you experience. Why? You are detached to the body. So if you are getting sad when your body gets weak, that's because you are attached to the body. So by understanding and learning the danger of this body, now in Kaya Anupassana, when you develop mindfulness towards the body, you will understand the danger of this body, how disgusting this body is, how disgusting other people's bodies are. So then when you understand the true nature of this body, how beautiful this body is, how beautiful other people's bodies are, you won't get attached. You are unattached. The problem is we forget this disgusting nature. For an example, this body is filled with impurities, with phlegm, pus, urine, blood, then long intestine, large intestine. They are all filled with excrement. Then inside the stomach, it's like a vomit of a dog. Then all these nerves. So what we see is just the outer skin. Even the outer skin, sweat comes out, oil get generated. And then imagine if you don't bathe for 2-3 days. Forget about 2-3 days. For one day, if you sweat. So there is no single part or place in this body that can be considered as purified and pure. the whole body has a disgusting nature. So when you understand this nature, you will get detached to the body. Then this body can be seen as elements. There is water element, there is solid element, there is heat and air. Those are the four things that is existing in this body. So if you can see this body as four elements, you won't get deceived with this very impermanent beauty that we have, and the impermanent looks that we have, the impermanent strength we have, the impermanent energy we have, the impermanent skin color we have. We get deceived from what we see. And remember, this body is actually decorated by clothes. Sometimes a person look beautiful because of the clothes that person wear, because of the hairstyle. It's not that person's real beauty even. It's just because of the clothes that person wear. It's because of the shoes that person wear. Sometimes maybe the way that person walks. Sometimes maybe the vehicle that person uses. So we get deceived for something that person even does not have for himself. Even if we have something for us, even that is impermanent. But then imagine if that lasts for a couple of months or a couple of years. But then something not belong to us, like a cloth, a dress. So the day that we see a person might wear, imagine on a day that we see a person might be wearing a beautiful dress. On that day we get attached. Then on another day you see the same person with a different hairstyle, with an ugly dress. But then what happens? You have already fallen in love with that person. Now what to do? Now can't escape. This is what happened to people, why they get deceived. So the people who learn this Dhamma peacefully, honestly, with a open mind, they will not get attached to what they see. Even if things seems to be beautiful, they will understand all these beautiful things are impermanent and these things has a disgusting nature. So you can be mindful to the body. Then Buddha preaches to be mindful towards the feelings. There are three types of feelings: pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, neither pleasant, neither unpleasant. So what happens when we experience pleasant feelings? We think that this pleasant feeling will remain forever. Then once we lose the pleasant feeling, we get sad. Then when we experience unpleasant feelings, we get opposed. Then neither pleasant, neither unpleasant, we think that will remain forever. So people get deceived then. So even towards feelings, we should be mindful. Then towards the mind. Sometimes this mind is overwhelmed with anger. Sometimes this mind is overwhelmed with lust, overwhelmed with greed, delusion. So with jealousy, then with conceit, with arrogance. So when a person learn the real phenomena of the mind, then he will observe the mind and he will not let this mind to be overwhelmed with bad defilements for a long time. Why? He will know that later when this mind is obsessed and overwhelmed with defilements, he will perform bad and evil bodily action and he will perform bodily and verbal actions. He will perform evil bodily and verbal actions. So just imagine when a person get the opportunity to learn about the mind, about the body, about feelings, then about the wonderful solutions that Buddha has preached to overcome suffering, like overcoming, abandoning kamachanda, abandoning the sensual desires, abandoning hatred, then abandoning sleepiness, abandoning regret and remorse, then abandoning doubts in life. Then that's the path to overcome sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. Can't we? We can. So far we have completed 2 sermons. So I'm hoping to do this sermon throughout the retreat as the third part. So far we have learned 4 similes. So I'm hoping to teach the other simile in the next sermon and explain more from this Karanapali Sutta. There's a lot to learn from this Karanapali Sutta. At the end of this sutta, Karanapali becomes a disciple of the Supreme Buddha. Karanapali becomes a disciple of the Supreme Buddha, and he praises. So let's learn this wonderful sermon throughout the day and develop a pleasant mind towards the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And may that pleasant mind help us to realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.